Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Welcome to New Life Live. Chris Williams in studio for Steve today. And so I'll be driving the bus. I have a great companion with me, Dr. Sheri Keffer.
Hey, it's great to be on your bus today.
the New Life bus. And Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris will be joining us soon. And a little rainy morning here in Southern California.
Yeah.
Sheri, there is these moments in our country's history that are indelible. They leave an imprint. Obviously, in our lifetimes, we have 9/11, and something that we just couldn't forget.
Yeah.
We won't forget, and
Yep.
we will remember it. For my grandparents' generation, it was December 7th. It was today, the day that Pearl Harbor was bombed, in which over 2,000 American lives were lost.
Yeah, such a tragedy.
And so we want to remember that day, remember the people that lost their lives. And for me, it holds a little bit of more significance because I remember the life of a person who survived that attack, who was there and on duty, and that was my grandfather.
Your grandfather?
Yes.
Was at Pearl Harbor.
Stationed at Pearl Harbor. He was both an air traffic controller, or he's on the radars. He wasn't on that morning.
I was going to say that would be a really bad day for an air traffic controller.
Well, it was definitely a bad day for him, but he was out running some duties around the planes because he was also a pilot.
Oh, my goodness.
But as the story goes, in my family, if he was in his barracks, he probably wouldn't have survived because his barracks got bombed.
So, I mean, that says generationally, if he wasn't there, you wouldn't be here right now.
I wouldn't be here right
to
now.
tell the story.
Absolutely.
But what a tragedy for that day. And your grandfather actually survived because he was out.
Yes, absolutely. And so you know, in my family lineage, and we trace men in my family serving in wars going all the way back to the Revolutionary War. And so this is significant because it can be an area of pride, and it is, and we honor that, and we honor those. It's also this reality that we do carry the scars of war. We do carry the scars of pain, as my dad carried that from Vietnam. And part of remembering them, at least in my world, for sure, is making sure that those people who serve and sacrifice for us are very, very well taken care of and very honored. And that's been one of the things in my practice that I've really been a heartbeat. You know, we're not too far from Camp Pendleton. I obviously love our first responders.
Yeah.
And so I always keep some spots open for those people
to
serve them well.
Well, and it's interesting just to hear your story. You're on the front lines in a different way.
Yeah.
You're battling for hearts. You're in the war zone.
Yes.
In working with many with addictions of many kinds. And so hearing about your grandfather, honoring those today that were involved, honoring those that lost their life, grateful for those in our country that serve every day, that continue to keep our country free.
Absolutely.
There's just so many things to remember. But thanks for sharing your story of your granddad.
And this Advent season, we remember that in the midst of wars and sacrifices, that Christ came to fight the ultimate war for us, to make the ultimate sacrifice, to give us the ultimate victory of eternal life in Him. And that we hold on to this hope, we hold on to this truth, and therefore we can move forward with courage and with great gratitude. Give us a call today. We'd love to talk to you. 1-800-229-3000.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Now the workshop is coming to Washington, D.C., January 6th through the 8th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
I just can't say enough of what New Life has done for our marriage.
1-800-NEWLIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. Jacqui just walked in. Jacqui, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Chris?
We're doing good. Sheri and I were marveling. You guys got to go to YouTube. You got to go to YouTube right now. Check us out because Jacqui looks stunning today.
You are just
So,
a
yeah.
beautiful woman. We were just like, she walked in and we're like, wow, girl. I love it. I love it. She's just, her hair is so beautiful today. Again, go to YouTube. She put in her own little jewel bejangles today. And I'm
Blingy, yeah.
Kind of blingy. I love it.
I love it. I can see the one there with the little cross. It's just, it's so beautiful. I mean, you're beautiful inside and out, but it's great to be here with the three of us today.
It is. It's been a while.
I know. And this is the first time the three of us have been together.
Yep.
So
Oh, that's
we've
right.
got a lot that we're going to do today on the
Absolutely.
phones.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. We have some serious help and wisdom here in the room for you today. I'm excited for you. We're going to go to Christine in Canada. We're going to go to a Canucks, British Columbia. Speaking of YouTube, listening to us on YouTube. Christine, are you there?
Yes, I am. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Talk to us. What you got going on?
Well, I attend CR on a regular basis, and I have been invited to be a leader, and this February we'll be celebrating 4 years since the CR group has started.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been asked to give my testimony.
Okay,
But
that's great.
when I mentioned it to my husband, the wall went right up. He was very upset. He's a doctor, and he doesn't want to be exposed. I feel differently. When I hear the women, I'm going to cry, share their hearts. I understand. I connect with that because, I went through many of the same things. And, so I struggled with alcohol. That was my struggle. But I would really like to, I'm praying that my husband would have a change of heart. But how should I go about encouraging him to permit me to do that? Is that a good thing, or how do you? What advice would you give me?
Yeah, that's a great question. And so his fear is that there would be information shared about him that he wouldn't want out there. Would that be correct?
Well, no, it's information about me.
Oh.
So the information about you would expose him.
Well, that's what he said, but
Okay.
he doesn't. You see, there are other doctors in the community, South Asian doctors, East Indian, that, wouldn't want that kind of information going out about their wives. I guess he's fearful of how people would
The stigma.
treat me or talk about me afterwards.
Okay. Yeah. What do you think, Jacqui?
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It does. It makes perfect sense. He's concerned about stigma. He's concerned about being judged. He's concerned about what people will think of you all when they find out that you've struggled with alcohol and been in treatment. It's unfortunate because that's a part of our problem in this country, is that people are so ashamed of getting help or needing help that they often don't get help.
Right. And I also want to say that I was sexually abused and I was raped by cousins, if you can,
Yeah,
that,
actually, yes,
my
I can
mom's
believe
side of
that.
the family who don't, they don't live here, but it's a fact, and actually one of them is a doctor now in Eastern Canada, which is, it's terrible.
I think it's biblical to share our testimony because others can learn from what we've come through and benefit from the tools that we found to get healthy. And at the same time, your husband may not be fully ready for that to be public information. I think it's a tough decision for you to make because I hear in your heart, I hear in your voice, your heart for honoring your husband's wishes. Her question, though, was how can she encourage her husband? So, Chris, I'm going to hand that to you.
Hand that back to me. Well, honestly, I think that there is this fear, usually driven by shame. And none of us want to experience shame or even the shame of our loved ones. But one of the things that we must reconcile, I think, in ourselves, our stories, and in life with human beings on planet Earth, is that we're not in charge of other people's judgment of us. We just aren't. And their judgment is about them, not about us, even though that's easier said than done because their judgment can impact us or trigger our shame or trigger our sense of rejection from them. And so I think that the encouragement that I start with, and love to hear from Sheri about this, with your husband is beyond that explanation, because it sounds to me what you mentioned in there is a cultural piece as well. And in a lot of cultures, it's like, hey, we keep our dirty laundry in-house. That's just what we do. And it's inappropriate to take it outside of the house. And so, again, I get that. Yeah. And so, however, Christine, this is your story. You're the owner of it. Mm-hmm. It is your proprietary information. Mm-hmm. And you're not saying anything disparaging about your husband from what I could tell. And so I think there is an ongoing conversation with him that you do want to honor him, but this is your story and this is important to you, and this is where you're at and what the decisions that you want to make. And that if you're not feeling insecurity or shame around it, then I believe you have freedom there. And again, that's going to create tension, but I think it's an important process.
Have you asked him, Christine, what it is about your story that makes him the most uncomfortable?
Well, there's many layers to my story.
But not about your story.
I haven't asked him, no.
But
yes?
What I'm wondering is, have you risked to have the uncomfortable conversation with him? Because a lot of time what happens, as soon as we share that and we feel the judgment, or you used a very strong word, you said, if he would permit me to do it. I thought, wow, permit. That's a very strong word, as if, there's a parental component to it. And think about your history with the rape, with sexual abuse. There's so many secrets, and there's so many power differentials. And so that feeling, that one-up feeling of, I need to see if he'll permit me to do this, you're already kind of in that one-down, powerless feeling that as trauma survivors we can get into, and then that stops us from pressing into the tougher conversations about, what is it about my story that makes you most uncomfortable? What would it be like?
I would say that I will say that, he comes from a family that doesn't talk about things. Like the elephant is in the room and nobody wants to talk about it. I said I had many layers to my story. I gave up twins for adoption, and I was already a single mother at that time. When I got pregnant for the second time, I gave up twins for adoption, and when I married my husband, I was asked never to go looking for them because his family wouldn't understand, and they would have a hard enough time with, accepting me because I was a single mom, let alone find out that I'd had a second pregnancy and given those twins up for adoption.
It's big. It's big. So you know what CR stands for, don't you? It stands for Celebrate Recovery. You know what it sounds like? You're caged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're caged.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And it's not a problem that's permanent, but it's a problem that requires that you press in. And just because he came from a family that doesn't share, that doesn't have to become your narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to.
Right.
But you're going to have to press in and contend in a very loving way with somebody who is frightened about you being free.
He's frightened about you being free. That's such a hugely important piece that I think you have to hear. You are working towards freedom, and yet you are being imprisoned by someone else's fears. You're working toward, you've been asked to be a leader and celebrate recovery. Meanwhile, in your own home, recovery is not celebrated. It's shamed and shunned and hidden because of what other people may think. And other people aren't involved in your recovery. You are. Your experience, they weren't there for that experience. And, to have a partner who is more concerned about protecting themselves and their family than they are about you getting well and being free is concerning. And I do believe you have some conversations to have with him.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to go look for those twins you put up for adoption, if that was what was best for you and for them.
Well, they came back into my life. My oldest son's wife found them.
Mm-hmm.
They came back into my life, and his family has punished us in different ways for that.
So again, I want you to hear this. If you punished you for you, I want you to hear
for
that.
Relationship.
Yes. And what I mean is like our story is a huge part of us. Your desires, your thoughts, your opinions, they're all part of you. You're saying to be in this marriage and to be accepted by this family, I can't be me. And I'm like, that's a crisis.
Yeah, I tell people if you want to have peace, release people from the prison of your expectations and do not allow anyone to imprison you in theirs. And you've been imprisoned in his family's expectation of what a good wife, a good Christian wife
and he
looks
has
like.
too.
And he has.
Because this is really, Christine, the danger of this. And I want to get to this because I want all of our listeners to hear this. In the world of recovery, there's this term that we are as sick as our secrets. Do you know how generation after generation after generation of abuse continues to stay alive? It does it in dark, secret places that no one is allowed to talk about. It's not until someone says enough and risks that and sacrifices what it may mean to other people to say, we're going to expose this because we have to stop it. We have to put an end to it. And to not talk about it and to keep it a secret is this sounds harsh, but it's real. To not talk about it is to participate in keeping it going. Whether we know that or not, we become complicit in the secret.
Yes, silence is complicity.
Wow. I am so glad I spoke to you because I'm going to have him listen to this conversation.
Well,
I want to ask you something. Would you think it would be better for me to wait until I have his support in giving my testimony, or do you think
Well,
it would be,
Yeah, as we just have a couple seconds here to finish up, I would say maybe you guys think different.
I wouldn't have him listen to the conversation right now. You know why? Because he's going to make it about us instead of about you.
Yeah.
I want you to hear what we said to you today.
Yeah.
And I want
That's
you
good,
to
Sheri.
let that sink down deep. And I want you to get into your own help. I want you to find someone like us. Stay on the line. We'll hook you into a New Life counselor. But I want you to have someone that's in your corner, that's helping you contend until you get to a point that you are sharing your story and you feel good about it.
And whether he gives permission or not, you have to give yourself permission. So until you're ready to give yourself permission with or without his, you may not be ready.
And Christine, we're going to send you the Emotional Freedom Workbook, and we'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn from New Life Live, and Chris Williams and I are doing the Emotional Freedom Workshop. I don't know of anybody that wouldn't benefit from emotional freedom. We're all bound or stuck or struggling in some area. What are we going to do there, Chris?
Just really help people get clarity around the places where they're stuck in their life. They sort of circle the same mountain of disappointment over and over and over again. You're going to be able to see that mountain clearly and get to a new place of what we call emotional freedom, which is simply I can feel in the world, build a relationship to it, and know what to do with my experiences.
The New Life Emotional Freedom Online Workshop is Saturday, January 21st. Steve Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris will present information on trauma, depression, codependency, and more. And small group leaders will help you process the information you learn. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or register online at newlife.com.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the 1-Year Bible for Men or the 1-Year Bible for Women. These Bibles combine the best-selling daily Bible reading format with 2-minute daily devotionals written to create a one-of-a-kind devotional Bible that you'll love. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live, and it is myself, Chris Williams, Dr. Sheri Keffer, and Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris. We're going to be in studio for a couple hours today. Give us a call. We'd love to talk with you, love to help you work through your hardest place so we can provide practical solutions as well as a lot of hope for that, whatever you're dealing with today. So with that, we're going to go to B in Des Plaines, Illinois. And B, are you there? B, are you there? Can you hear me? We'll hold off on B for right now, and we'll move over to Sally, listening in Anaheim, California, listening online. Sally, how you doing today?
Hi, I'm great. I'm calling just to, well, there's a lot of stories within the story, but I'm trying to summarize. But my main point of my conversation is I'm looking for steps of help for safety, and especially during the holiday season. I like to help me understand my story is I was injured in a severe car accident 20 years ago, and I've become a motivational speaker since then. And I haven't done any speaking mostly since I've been married and got we have our 8-year-old daughter, and so my time has been invested into helping my daughter. Yet also with my background, have gotten a master's in pastoral care and counseling, and I have a BA in youth ministry, and I've done ministry before and after my accident, and I've always kind of said that God's going to use me whether I'm sitting or standing, and I feel like God uses us wherever we're at, and
Sure.
it doesn't have to be in ministry in order it to be ministry. And
for sure. So Sally, what is this problem? What is the struggle that you're having today?
I've also I know that when we get married, no matter how healthy we are, we can still bring baggage into our marriages.
Sure.
And my husband was from he was from a domestic violence home, but he said that his parents are not the parents that he had as a kid. They accepted Christ, and they're different than they were when he was little.
Yeah.
Yet, as I've been married, I've a lot of other things have come back into the picture, and so he has a problem with anger, and that's been a problem with my family as well. And so a lot of enabling.
What does hold on wait, what does his anger look like when it shows up? What does it do?
It's scary.
How is it scary? What does it actually do?
There's been violence, and he threatens, he doesn't want me to be driving with my daughter, and so I'm dependent on him, and I have a van sitting
Okay,
out,
so
but
hold on. Only because we don't have time for a lot of backstory.
Yeah,
I want to get right down to what's this guy's the nitty-gritty. That's exactly right. So he can be physically violent, is that true?
Yeah, he has been before.
Okay,
and
can it be verbally mean and abusive?
Oh, yeah, he calls me stupid idiot as my nickname, and whenever he gets mad, he'll say, "There you are."
Okay, and so
idiot.
Sally, you're with an abusive husband, an abusive guy. What have you done about it? Have you taken any steps? Okay, you've left.
Yeah, I've left. I've left a few times. I've gone. I was accepted into a shelter when my daughter was 9 months, and then but I've come back because the last time I left, which was about a year ago, maybe more, I left in a hotel my parents paid for 9 weeks with my daughter and my parents.
So I got to keep jumping in because I want to definitely get you the help that you need. So you have taken steps to lead. You come back. It sounds like obviously you're in the accident. There's a lot of things that you're dependent upon him for, and it sort of keeps you hooked into this dangerous situation.
Sally, are you wheelchair bound since your accident?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. What is the question for us that we can help you with today?
I feel stuck, and he knows it. And so he's even said, because my mom is a hoarder, and so the house is not accessible for me to go to, but they come to us. They'll do anything.
Okay,
for
so
us
hold on. What's the question for us, Sally? How can we help you?
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next, because I know from my background, I know things are not right.
Sure.
Here, but I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I don't
have
want to
resources?
go into a shelter.
So no. Sally, let Jacqui answer your question.
Did you say you don't have, so you don't want to go to a shelter, or you can't go to a shelter?
No, I don't. There's only one shelter that's wheelchair accessible, and because I've been there before, supposedly they wouldn't accept me back. But even if they would, the thing is I did that before my daughter was in school, and so now that she's in school, she's highly involved.
Okay, so Sally, we hear a lot of the story. That you hear the music there. So we're gonna head to a break here in just a second. But before we do, there's a lot going on in your head and your heart, and that is very typical for people who are stuck in very painful and dangerous situations. And so what we're going to do when we come back from the break is we're going to give you some clarity on both what you're experiencing and your next steps. And so with that said, we have the Emotional Freedom Workshop coming up here in January. We'd love for you to join us. It's going to be online January 21st. First, sign up today. We'd love for you to join us. We'll be right back.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. We are on the phone with Sally, listening in Anaheim, and in a very, very difficult situation. Jacqui, let me start with you.
Okay. Sally, I think there's a couple of things you have to know. The situation you're in it's more than unsafe. It's dangerous and reportable. If there is actual physical violence happening in the home in the presence of a child, that's reportable to CPS, Child Protective Services. If you are disabled and being abused, that's reportable to Adult Protective Services. So there are resources out there that can help you, but you have to be willing to push past all the scary, because you are quite dependent upon him. He knows that, and maybe it sounds like he uses that against you.
Yes.
And you get so twisted in all the
driving.
Yeah, even though you have a vehicle.
Well,
even when you're driving.
I'm not using it.
Sure.
I don't drive it because we were in a second car accident both when my daughter was 1, and he was driving, and my family was behind us coming home from we were going to go to
Okay, so Sally, I need you to listen to know, what we're giving you. Yeah.
So you said that supposedly you can't go back to the shelter because they won't take you because you've been there before. Supposedly sounds to me like you haven't checked yourself again. So reach out to them again, and if they don't have a room or space for you and your daughter, keep reaching out until you find a space for you and your daughter.
The thing is, I don't really want to, I don't know if that's the only option I have, because, that's... Because
that is it.
Pull my daughter from all her activities.
It's okay. You might have to keep yourself safe and keep your daughter safe. You might have to forget about the activities for a little while. Otherwise, we continue to perpetuate the family trauma that's been going on for generations already, because the focus isn't.
Don't wait and go ahead and pull her from school and pull us from
first before you start worrying about her in school. Find a place for you to be and be safe. And then the case management at that space can help you manage her in school.
Because my
Are you
I'm
on
meeting with the
disability?
pastor today.
Are you on disability, Sally? Have
Yeah,
you
but I
filed?
also work.
Okay, so you
I
work.
have Social Security, I guess, is D, and I work as well.
Okay. So you work, you're on disability. What's keeping you from filing for a divorce from an abusive man?
I've done that, but then I know I last time I left, I had to I didn't want a divorce, and so I filed for legal separation, and then I had to return back home because I was in a hotel for 9 weeks, and I got bed sores or like pressure sores, and they opened up.
Yep.
And so I had surgeries prior to that, and so I knew what that would mean. I didn't have my sleep number bed at home.
So Sally, let me jump in. Okay. There is a lot of challenges that you have, and they're real, and we want to honor those. But I want to give you the biggest challenge that you're experiencing. It's inside of you. There's a line that we have, and that is the pain of staying has to exceed the pain of changing. You're in a very, very painful and dangerous situation.
Can you say that again? I'm writing these down, and I like that.
Yes, the pain of staying the same or staying where you are has to exceed the pain of changing. Making these changes are going to be difficult. We don't pretend to have a magic solution to it. However, the thing inside of you is there is a hook that constantly keeps you back to being tied to a person who is fundamentally dangerous to you and your daughter. And that's not good. And there has to be this renewed sense of whatever it takes. And God, there's stuff in my own history, stuff in my own family history that there's been some people that said whatever it takes and took those steps, and just miraculously God met them there time after time after time to keep them sustained and moving forward to get out of dangerous situations.
And as long as we're moving from a victim mindset, we stay stuck. Even your sleep number bed, my dear. I'm like, if I was with you, if I was working with you, you would have your sleep number bed. You would be in a transition of legal separation, but you would have your bed. You would not have to leave your bed. But those are decisions that need to be worked out with somebody that can help you own what you need to be independent from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the focus. What do you need to do? What do you need as resources so that you can be independent from him? There's a lot of dependency, and because you have very real physical limitations, and you are dependent, and you do need help, but you are also resourceful.
Yeah,
and
you're working.
Yep. You have some resource, and you have others in your life. Maybe we can connect you with a Christian counselor. Have you been in therapy since either of your accidents?
Yeah, many times, and that's like my family says, well, like when I was shared all this with my family again, and then like I heard my dad saying this to my sister, and she's like, this is the same drama, same roller coaster. I don't want to hear anymore.
Okay, so Sally. So yes, your way forward is action. We do want to get you connected, but I just want you to hear in you, Sheri was talking about a victim mindset. A victim mindset has an excuse for every reason why we can't move forward. And that is actually the most dangerous thing in your life right now.
Forget about what other people are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. They're tired. They don't want to keep hearing you talk about what's going wrong in your life and all the reasons why it can't get better, because they can't help you.
And like I told my mom today, I said, you know what, I can't shame myself. I shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I said I gotta go forward.
That's it right there.
So we're gonna help you. We're gonna help you go forward. So Sally, we're gonna connect you with a therapist in your area, a Christian counselor in your area. Okay, we're going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back, for sure. And we're going to encourage you to then do whatever it takes. Do whatever it takes, which includes there's some things here on the legal side that you need to do. You need to contact a lawyer and you need to see what your rights are. So Sally, we really, really hope and pray for the best. We know that God will meet you when you take this risk towards health and safety and ultimately his will for goodness in your life today. In studio right now, we have Larry Sonnenberg. Larry, how are you doing today?
Doing good. Thank you, Chris.
Good.
This is year-end. This is the time of year that a lot of ministries like New Life can financially restore and regain some health that maybe dwindled a little bit during the year. I know my church, where I go, they tell everybody up front, we budget and we expect double the revenue in December than the rest of the month. And I hope that folks who are listening, that you might consider the same thing, if not more. Some people only give once a year. And if that's who you are, then I would just ask you to please make that gift, and the sooner the better. And if you gave an amount last year and you're thinking the same amount this year, please rethink it. Think that maybe it would be better to give a little more this year. You know, with what we've experienced with the cost of everything going up, it doesn't get offset if everybody just gives the same thing all the time. So if you'd be so kind as to think about that and help us fill that gap between what expenses are doing and going up, and what the giving is when it's just the same. Please, if you're Club New Life, make an extra gift this month, or increase your giving for the next year. Maybe it's only $5, maybe it's $50. Whatever you can do, please increase your giving. I got a note from a guy. It's real short. You recently gave my wife a scholarship to restore. I'm going to pay it back and continue to support you. Nice to know that you used my previous checks for scholarships as I requested. Pay something forward. You know, I love it that this person realized that the scholarship is a real thing, and that's something you can give to. You can give to a scholarship fund, and it will all go to help people get their lives back and get their lives back in shape, in order, restoration, transformation, all that good stuff. But if it sounds like I'm pleading a little more than usual, it's because I am.
Well, Larry, here is just a joyful truth. The joyful truth is that when our lives have been positively transformed by something that is accessible to other people, we just want to make it more accessible to other people.
Amen.
We want to spread that healing. We want to spread that joy. And that's what we're asking you to join us with here this holiday season, is make this accessible for more people to get the help that they need.
One last thought. This is a time of year a lot of people give stock gifts. Call somebody that can help you with your tax decisions. It could be very beneficial to give stock other than cash.
My husband was involved with a pornography addiction. He was unfaithful. I called the wedding off. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Workshop is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
My husband is a recovering sex addict. There were strip clubs, other ladies.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Workshop will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Orange County, California, February 24th through the 26th. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or online at newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue. and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a New Life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
Welcome back to New Life Live. This is Chris Williams with Dr. Sheri Keffer and Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris. We're going to be in studio for a couple hours today, so give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. Again, that's 1-800-229-3000. We'd love to talk to you. And we're going to go to another caller now. We're going to go back to B. And let me see if I pronounce this correctly. Des Plaines, Illinois. So B,
I'm okay with that.
You say it, B.
Des Plaines, Illinois.
Des Plaines, Illinois. Okay, good. Excellent. Well, B, what can we do for you today?
Well, I'm having a problem with my adult children. I have two of them. Okay. I grew up in a very abusive home, being my father, and my mother took her life when I was 11, and I was the oldest of three, so that was very difficult, and to say the least. And we were never, ever allowed to talk about her after that day. In fact, my dad's sister pretty much, she controlled him and wouldn't even let him put a headstone on her grave.
Wow.
My aunts did that.
Wow.
My aunts did that 7 years later when my grandmother died. And anyway, so I ended up, I thought, my dad always put us down. I only remember one comment that he made, one compliment he gave me my whole life. And when we were growing up, and it really stuck with me, but everything was down. He couldn't wait till we grew up and got out of the house, and et cetera, et cetera.
So, yeah, go for it, Jacqui.
B, we only have a few minutes, and we really want to help you. Can we know what the question is?
Okay. So my then I married a alcoholic. Okay. So my children idolized their father and thought he could do no wrong, and I was the bad guy, and they saw him, abusing me. So I got out of that marriage. But now as an adult, they want me to have Christmas Eve. Okay, which sounds like, not a big deal. But I have had medical issues the past few years, and I was even on life support for 5 days 2 years ago.
When you say that, B, I'm sorry for cutting you off. When you say they want you to have Christmas Eve, are you saying they want you to host Christmas Eve? And
yes,
do all the prep and have them over to your place?
Yes.
And do you want to do that?
I want to do it with all my heart, and it kills me that I can't do it. But they even said that they could just have takeout.
So B, hold on. Let me jump in. B, we need to get to a question. What's the question for us today? How can we help you?
Sorry. See, I have a lot of clutter in my house, and I have a problem with organizing.
Uh-huh.
For one, if we weren't allowed, we had to keep everything in order. So I'm real clean, but I have a lot of clutter, and I don't want people over.
So say no.
Until I
say no.
I did say no. And they're saying how terrible it is.
So Bea, hold on. Yes, I don't think that this is about Christmas Eve. In fact, I don't think this is even remotely about Christmas Eve. I think this is about your children being very, very concerned about you.
No, I don't.
Hold on. I know you don't see that. I'm guessing, and I could be wrong, right? But if your children really didn't like you, they wouldn't want to spend Christmas Eve with you. They want to be with you. But inside of you, Bea, I can feel that pain. And you gave us a little bit of your background story. Is that inside of you, you're carrying a really, really painful belief about yourself, that you don't matter and that you're not worthy.
Sorry.
That's okay. Keep breathing. Okay?
Yeah, it's really painful, Bea, when all that stuff that clutters your house, that somehow in a way brings you some security. I know I haven't talked about this, my heart's beating, but having gone through a lot of trauma, do you know I had a hoarding problem too? I did.
Yeah.
And all that stuff that I held on to, do you know I was embarrassed to have people over to my house? And
I know I can't have people over.
I know, but do you really?
Have anybody over?
I understand that, but that's why you're crying, because that stuff is causing a disconnection with the kids you love the most. Do you know it was the scariest thing I think I've ever done when I had to start going through every box, every pile, every stuffed closet, every room that I closed the door and didn't want to look at. And it just kept bleeding into other parts of my house, my apartment. Because all that stuff, I was afraid to let go of it because I thought I needed it. I had a hard time letting go of anything that had value, and it all came out of my fear. It was fear of not having enough, fear of scarcity. But what it did is it created a wedge between myself and friends.
Yes.
And so I had to start dealing with that stuff. I had to start. I know. But you know what? You might need some help. You might need some help from someone who can come in.
Throw it away. Everyone I've asked to help, they tell me throw it away.
I know. But you know what? In the midst of that stuff, I had a roommate one time, and I can't even believe I had a roommate in that circumstance, but I was desperate for money. And my roommate looked at me and she said, "Why don't you just throw all that away?" I mean, it was shame. And I said, "You know why?" I said, "Because there's something in there that belonged to my grandma, and I don't know where it's at. I just can't throw everything away." So, I had to go through, and I had to open and touch everything, and I had to fill dumpsters, girl, until I could get free.
Absolutely. And let me jump in, because Jacqui and I have actually been to your house, Sheri. It's stunning.
Stunning.
Yes, and you've done a
Yes.
great job of creating.
But you didn't go into my garage.
Well, you've done a great job of creating a home of order and peace and serenity.
Beauty.
But it takes work, and it takes the internal work.
And it's going to be a loss. You may need to grieve letting go of some things.
Yeah. So Bea, we're gonna set you up with one of our counselors. Anyone out there, you need a counselor, coach, you can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We're gonna be in studio here for another hour, so give us a call, 1-800-229-3000. And B, we are also going to send you a copy of Take Your Life Back, but you need help. Everyone needs help. No shame in that.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.